What's up, YouTube? So I can't find a video anywhere that's specific to my model, but the symptom is that when you're driving this car, if you try to turn right at night when your lights are on, the brights will come on. It doesn't do it when you turn it left. If you push it all the way up like it's supposed to, then the brights come on. If you barely just lift it a little bit, the brights don't come on. But if you use it like you're supposed to, go like that. See how the brights come on? So there's something inside the turn signal switch that is broken that's causing that contact to be made when you turn right. When I turn left, doesn't do it. Only when I turn right. So that's the symptom. First thing I'm going to do is lower the steering wheel. Okay? I'm going to put it in low. So that's how that's done. And then I'm going to pull this piece all the way across. I've already started it right here. So you just come like this. It's kind of nifty compared to the other vehicles. You can take that whole thing off. I don't know that I'm going to be able to finish it one-handed, so I'm going to pause, but you get the idea. See, look, it's prying up all the way around, so I should be able to get it the rest of the way. I'm going to pause. Okay, there it is off. I just had to pull out, and then I lifted the right side up a little bit and was able to wiggle it around. I've got the steering wheel back up. It's kind of goofy that it's got the steering wheel's cockeyed there, and I put it back in park so the car doesn't roll. Also put on the brakes, so I'm in my garage, so it's flat, so the car wasn't going to roll, but went ahead and put it back in drive. Going to pause again. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this panel. Not sure if it's going to be in the way, but it's just two 7mm bolts. There's one down here on this side. Yeah, there it is right there. And there's one over here as well. And then it's just held in up here by two like little pins that go into little holes, just kind of a friction pin doodad, and I'll show it to you when I get it off. Actually, I'm going to take the bolts off and then I'll show you how I pull it up, because you don't need me to show you how to take these two bolts off, but it's just 7mm, so that's what I'm going to do next. So I got those two bottom bolts out, and then you just pull here, maybe over here. Boy, that's tight. This has probably never been off. Let's see if this side works. We're just one-handed. Yep, there we go. See those little pins right there? These little guide pins go into that little doodad right there. And then it comes off just like that. Just like that. Put this over here with the rest of the mess. And now I'm going to go about taking this off. Imagine I'm going to have to take this off, and I think it just pulls out. But I saw on another video somebody take it off with a screwdriver, so I'm going to figure that out, and I'll be right back. So I was able to just pull this thing out. I didn't want to force it with a screwdriver, so I just pulled really hard, put down my purse, and I pulled really hard. Hopefully that doesn't offend anybody. It's just something I learned when I used to be in construction. Look, it's got these little tabs on the end that hold it in, so when you pull it out like you mean it, it comes out. So that's that piece. This is the little doodad that raises the steering wheel for you. You can still raise it by pushing in there, I believe, but I don't know that I'll need to do that, but we'll see. Well, I'm not figuring out what those are on the bottom here, the bolts that hold this up, so it's hard to get my big head underneath there to see what's going on. So I'm gonna go see if I can do some research real quick. Looks like it's just two bolts, but I'm not sure what they are, so I'm gonna go see if I can find a definitive source. Well, I saw after Googling a little bit, I saw somebody say, well, it either has little bitty Torx or no screws at all. So I started prying, but it doesn't seem like it wants to give, so I need to keep looking. This is just really weird. I mean, when I look up there, it looks like just a round hole, so I don't see any. I've tried multiple Torx. Nothing seems to work. So I'm going to keep looking. So sure enough, there are no screws holding it in. It's just where this lip goes underneath the steering wheel is super tight, so that's what I'm having to deal with. And it was a little tighter on this side, but I was able to get it up a little bit. But just have to work this right here, this little gap, out from behind this lip, and that's what I'm dealing with. But you want to be gentle because there's little fingers that won't focus there. Yeah, right there. That go into these little tabs and stuff. So just be gentle. Yours might have screws, mine don't. Or doesn't, sorry. Let me point out too, see? It is hinged here in the back, so don't just try forcing this up because you'll break it. Or break those tabs. So I'm still trying to work this around. There's no way in heck I can do it one-handed. So I'm basically trying to push it back towards the cluster, so it'll come out from underneath that lip, but there's no way I can do it one-handed. So I mean, here's a duh for you. I think part of the problem I was having is because I had the steering wheel cockeyed there. So straighten out your steering wheel, and that'll make this a little bit easier, I think. Still got to do it. Oh, and as you can see, my brights are on. Well, that's just because I've pushed that forward. And there it is off. What finally got it is I just kept pushing it towards the cluster, and then it came out of the little hook there that made that possible. So now I'm going to just take the bottom off, and we'll call this good. You know what? After all, I don't think I needed to take that part of the dash, the trim off. I think I could have done this without it, but it's really easy to take off, so what the heck. And the bottom piece, but the bottom piece probably does need to come off. I don't know. It's so quick. I mean, 2 bolts, so who cares? An extra minute and a half maybe. So now I've got to get this bolt out. And it's actually a nut or a screw, but it's a T25. Ain't no way it's going to focus on that. Come on, baby, focus. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, so it's just a T25. I got this cheap thing from Harbor Freight. I'm not going to be able to use it on this one, but I've got small ones that I can just put in there and get a wrench on to turn, so that'll work for that one. So if you look in there, I've got the T25 on there, and I'm just going to slip this. Where are we going? Where's my... slip that over it and turn it. That'll make it come out. See, it's really tight fit, but you could just use a pair of pliers if you had to, but again, it's a T25. So this is not hard, it's just a pain in the butt. So putting it over the thing, just turning it. I had to do this a whole bunch of times. It's super loose, so I could probably turn it by hand. So I just wanted to show you that. It's kind of a pain, really bad clearance, but hey, it's better than taking the steering wheel off, right? So that got really slow going, so I got these really long pliers that I'm reaching in there, and I'm just spinning the head that way. It's a little bit faster. And there she is. That's the one that sucks. They look to be the same size. Yeah, there's the other one right there. But yeah, this one, because of the clearance there, it's a pain in the butt to get. But just grabbed it by the head. Right now I'm on the threads, but that's not the way I took it out. But just to be careful. And after I got that one out, it just lifts out. Now I just got to disconnect the connectors. That'll be cake. One in the back, that long wire that goes down, and the other one. So looks like 3 connectors. So for the big black wire that runs back, you can see it. I've pried it up a little bit, and I did that with a flathead. Now I'm just going to slide that piece out, the black plug. So I'm going to do that right now. Hopefully it's far enough out. I don't know why I can't get it to focus. That's a little bit better. I think I'm all the way out. Nope, not yet. You got to lift that a little bit more. So same thing right here. And I'm lift that right there to get that one out. And over on this one, I'm going to do the same thing there, but I can't do that one-handed, sorry. So I just wanted to show you. So I'm going to lift here gently, because that's real thin plastic. And then over here, same thing. On the other one, I just had to lift that. You can see there's a little nub. Let's get you in there. Come on, focus. Sorry, folks. Dang, man. Does not want to focus. There we go. See the little nub there? Just had to lift this black plastic piece right there with this screwdriver. Do it again gently, because you don't want to break this stuff. Just wanted to point out there's actually another littler plug behind here. Let me set it down. So I was only counting 3, but this one was hidden, so this is the 4th. So there's this one, this one, this one, and then I didn't see this one, but all the same thing. You just be ever so gently pry up on the plastic. I guess if you're taking it out, you don't have to be so careful on this because it's defective, right? Yep, now I'm going to compare the two parts, make sure they're the same. So here's the OEM one, and here's the replacement from 1A Auto. Got this, got the 2, look identical, and then that. Looks like 3 pins in each of those. 3 pins in each of those. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 in that long one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 there. Looks pretty dang close. Let's see, what's this pin for? Yep, there's the pin on that one too. Yeah, I say what this pin for, and I'm not even looking at that copper pin thing. There's the one right there, it's dirty. All right, gonna get the sucker thrown in. Call it good. Okay, so got just this top bolt in. I got everything plugged in. Now I'm going to do a functional test before I bother with this other bolt that sucks balls. Sorry. Language! Yeah, but it does. So I know the hazards already worked because when I plugged it in, the hazards started flashing because the button was up. So hazards work. That works. That works. High beams work. They work that way too. I guess I'll have to test cruise control. Yeah, I should probably test that before I put it all back together, because that would be a pain. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Move some of this clutter out of the way, take it for a drive, put the cruise on. I guess I could test this, the wipers too. Yeah, that works. Okay, so that works. Wipers work. Yeah. I'll have to check the thing once I start. So I'm gonna move some of this crap out of the way and test the cruise, and that'll be it, and I'll put it back together. Yeah, the hardest thing was getting that stupid cowling off, I think. Oh, well, nope, I take that back. It was this bolt right here. This bolt's not fun. So I've tested everything out, so I'm getting ready to put it back together for good. And so now I'm putting this bottom bolt in that was such a booger to take out. And now, when I had the top bolt in, I was finding it was impossible to line that thing up. So I had to undo the top bolt, start the bottom one, and now I'm going to try to get the top one started. It's really weird. The tolerances seem to be a little bit off on the replacement part. Either that or they're just right on. And I just thought I'd add that to, you want to do the bottom bolt first because it's almost impossible to get my fingers in there. So you may find the same thing. So go ahead and get a couple of turns on it at least before you do the top bolt. And I think you'll be doing yourself a favor. So that presented another interesting challenge. Was once I had the bottom one just turned a few times, I could not get this over, but with a little convincing, really had to force it over. Just made it challenging, but I don't think I could have gotten the bottom bolt lined up down here second. You got to do that one. You got to do it first. It makes it really tough to get that in, but I was able to do it. Anyway, it actually, like, when I moved it over, it snapped in, so it was, I think I'm good. Not sure exactly what this copper piece is that it seems to connect to the clock spring. It's on the back. I think that's what that is. But interesting little nub. I'm not sure what it does. I'm sure it's essential, so make sure you don't bend that or break it. Well, I don't think you could break it, but it has to be depressed a little bit. It's not going to just go in. So I actually pushed it in with my screwdriver as well. I didn't push it in, I just depressed it while I was trying to do it. So man, that was quite the wrestling match to get this in. I'm convinced that a normal mechanic at the dealer would take the steering wheel off. Because getting this on is quite a bear, because you got to get back in that lip. So another note, I would disconnect your battery. I'm assuming you're going to watch this before you attempt this, so disconnect your battery. I had to hook my battery up to my battery charger and put it on 50 amp to get the car to start, because it had lights running and it killed the battery. My battery's not the newest. It's from 2015, I think, so it's not super old. Yeah, so just 3 years old. But I guess that's when the warranty expires on this thing anyway. It's from Costco. God, I can't believe it's been 3 years already. But yeah, so yeah, it's doable. The real bear is this cowling. There's no way I could have filmed this unless I had a stand, so my apologies, because I don't have one. I think my hands and body would have been in the way anyway, so not much use. Getting this little rubber flange thing was a little bit difficult. I think the very last part I snapped in was right here. I got the other side. But yeah, disconnect your battery. If they make a right angle T25 that's very stubby, that would have made this job a lot easier, because the way I was doing it worked, but it was really slow. And again, tip is I think you gotta tighten this one first, and not all the way, just get it started, so then you can slide the top of the turn signal stalk over to the hole that it goes on. I ended up taking it off because I thought it was defective because the cruise control didn't work. But unbeknownst to me, apparently the cruise control was not working before, so yet another thing to fix on this car. Although my wife says she never uses it, and that's probably true, because whenever we drive anywhere, I'm the one doing the driving. So, and I'm not really a cruise control type of person. I use it sometimes if I get the little restless leg or something, and when we're on a really long trip. But otherwise, I'm foot on the gas myself the whole time. So yeah, the rest of putting the car back together, I think it's pretty simple. So I'm not going to show that, but I wished I could have shown more of this. My son said he was going to come out and assist, but he did not. So it's because his sister's here and they were having fun. Hopefully this helps somebody. I wished I would have had this video beforehand. One thing I should mention is I got the replacement stock from A1 Auto. A lot of their videos have helped me. Well, not a lot, but several. So I figured that as opposed to taking a risk on some unknown seller on Amazon, I would go ahead and buy from them, because they do have a no hassle return policy, and I'm certain that they don't sell junk. So we're going to give this a whirl and see how it goes. It doesn't have the same action as the OEM one. It feels a little less smooth, but it works, and that's good enough. As long as it works, who cares, as long as it's not, super cheap, but I don't know, everything seems to work, so we're going to call it good. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you want. If you've got a 97 ES300, 2001 Bug, 2005 GMC, that's what I usually work on, plus other stuff. Thanks for watching.